What's good, gente? Ya saben, man. Appreciate every single one of you guys, especially the ones that are already in the comments, bro. Ya saben, man. Appreciate all the homies, man. Gracias for all that. As you guys can see, man, we got the homie in here. For the ones that don't know who he is, homie, can you properly introduce yourself, carnal?
For the people that don't also know who he is, this is Swag Junior,
That's
homie
right.
D. I'm coming with the channel Swag Junior. You guys already know. I did a couple content already with the homie. For you guys don't know, come check it out, man.
I'm saying, hold on. Nah, but that was just a little quick one, right? So, the homies in here yesterday. I seen a lot of people dropping questions, bro, because you were supposed to be on, and that was my bad, you know. So if people got questions, this would be the best time to ask. But like I said, man, shit, the all the homies are always welcome to jump on. But this is gonna be one of the homies. Okay, I'm gonna be having a little bit more on the regular, bro, because we have plans to do some content together, bro.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we could talk about it a little bit ahorita un ratito. We'll talk about like what we got planned. ¿Sí me entiendes?
yeah. We had chopped it up. We had talked about trying to get some content going. We're trying to see if we can have um together some real content, have conversations, get the
Yeah,
conversation going, get the comments dropped in for the subscribers, everybody that want to be part of the conversation. Leave your questions, leave your comment. We also want to know the input of the people, if they're liking where the conversation is heading, if they don't, if
yeah,
they have something specific they want to know, let it be known, man. Drop your question,
sí, man.
and we will answer the best we can.
Straight up. No, y luego también pues I wanted to talk a little bit of what APA, bro. He was throwing a little bit of in it on the thing over there earlier on his live, right? And I was like, ¿sabes qué? I was like, that's something that me and the homie were already gonna discuss. I don't know if you caught that part, but he was
Yeah, he said something about basically trying to like discuss, because there's the difference between like how he was asking, they asked him about how they do on the dropouts and everything else, like if they have a dropout over there or something like that, and or whatever, right? That was something I was looking at my phone trying to read some of the comments, bro. So that was something me and you had trying to approach, because me and you wanted to talk about like basically the difference between the active yard, how it is, and how it is over there in the SNY side. Money talks. I send months right back, homie.
we're back, my boy.
All right, all right.
Spencer. I
Yeah,
gotta leave the studio on the thing. There you go.
yeah, yeah. I heard it has a little echo on it. I
Yeah,
just went and muted mine, but I was trying to like, cause I want to see the comments as well, and
nah,
also be able to keep up on the comments and stuff.
yeah, no, hey, and gracias for holding it down, bro. I ended up telling the homie earlier when it seems when I have someone on the platform, it can't hold two people for some weird reason, right? Because it was doing fine yesterday. But it'll be fine with the phone, bro. So it shouldn't be happening with the phone. So it's all good, my boy. He said, "X
Yeah,
was cracking." He said, "I'm gonna start reading some of the comments." Spencer. I've been missing them, but the homies on here too, eh? He said they're always been together. He said, "What? Oh, I know. Well, look, bro, that's something that they're throwing in there, carnal. I don't think that they were always together because old boy was talking down on them. Those are just facts, bro. But it's all firme. I mean, I'll put the song for them pretty soon, bro. And if not me, I'll have the homie Fume put it tonight, homie, at the after party. We'll put that reunited, and it feels so good.
I
Ha.
mean, you gotta look at it like this. They say it wasn't no money motivated or reasons behind it. I call BS on that, homie, because they saw something. It's like this. They saw something that worked out for them, and they saw how the reaction of the people was when they were together, so
Yeah.
they try to get back to it. That's my honest opinion. Like I said, I
Yeah.
wasn't here when all that shenanigans were going on YouTube. I probably was out but wasn't aware. And
Yeah.
like I always have told you, my boy, behind the scenes, I stay away from a lot of the drama just because I don't want somebody taking shots at me. But I mean, people I know was gonna keep asking. Eyes never lie. Saludos, my boy. Thank
Yeah.
you for dropping in.
Well, me personally, bro, like I don't really care, right? Like today, I tuned in to the homies live, and I didn't even know he was reacting to that because I don't tune into that stuff. But to be quite,
Yeah.
you know, people send me clips, and well, I'm always gonna be straight up, and that's what some people don't like. But I get it, carnal. Um, but I don't know if you were telling the homies earlier what we wanted to do, because I wanted to kind of discuss about that, bro. Because I know there's gonna be some good ass subjects, bro, when it comes to like the differences of the yards and just how certain programs get down, bro.
And that was I was giving a heads up that we kind of stopped on the last video with Dave regarding that, and
Yeah,
that was something I told you, like I want to learn more about how some programs work in this and why. Like I know my thing is, if a lot of people don't know, is I never checked in. I never, and I went through some drama on the main line where I was, when I was in the back, they kept me there for 9 months because I wouldn't sign the chrono. I wanted to go back and keep on pushing. It wasn't not nothing political. What had to do with a barrio issue that got blown out of proportion. But
yeah,
I was the type of man that I wasn't gonna let no other man push me out of my beliefs.
yeah,
Even though I stopped believing on the Sur program and I stopped believing on my own barrio because I lost respect for what they were standing for. That was not something I stood for. Fortunately for me, before I could sign the chrono, before I was forced to either go to the yard and get get turned up on, or before they sent me to SNY yard, I got pulled back to the county where I had to refile my case because my appeal went through for the new murder felony law. So I didn't have the chance to make the decision whether to go SNY or go active. Yeah, I was back there. Some people had me in disregard. Some people did. The program didn't have me in disregard. My homeboys had me in disregard, but the
yeah.
program didn't. It was, my issue was fixable, but the thing was my celly issue, since he had jumped for me, wasn't fixable because when you jump for somebody and they think they're in the wrong, they get clip on too. And I wasn't gonna let my celly take the whole hit behind it.
Simon.
So I wasn't gonna let my celly sign a chrono knowing that he had jumped because of the love we have for each other. You know what I mean? So now I didn't get to experience the SNY side. That don't mean people that checked in less than a man. I always have respect the man forever that I stand for. Because
Yeah,
even in the main line, I seen a homies that have 15 years in the system, straight bitches, straight winners, and no disrespect to the people that do on time. But
yeah.
I seen people in positions, bro, that had turned down face. I see people that got slapped that will have been in position and have done nothing about it. I seen fools get called out fierros and then they use that position they have as a defender mechanism. So I was asking you the difference between the SNY, how the yards are, how the program. Yeah, I see what's going on YouTube, all the killing that's going on in SNY.
Well, so
It's
look
the
at the.
same like the killing that's going on in active. So what's the difference?
Well, there's not really that much of a difference. The only thing is que no hay reglas, bro. You know, there is no rules over there, and it's a trip. I mean, I did. You know, I don't really like talking a lot of like the open cases, but I mean that fool's all out there doing it. You know, I don't know if you've seen that video, that monster.
Yeah. I seen it because
Yeah,
that clip got shot to me with one of the subscribers,
yeah, me
and
too.
and
Yeah,
and I went and looked at the newspaper. I watch. I read the audios by the police interviews, the CDC interviews, the gang squad, the IGI interview. I read
Simón.
all of that and I heard him. And then I heard when he was. Then I seen the video the Flaco put up when he's talking about the incident. So there's nothing that I'm saying or you are gonna be saying regarding that incident that haven't been put up there already.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
and that's why I was like, you know what, we could kind of talk about that, right? Because that's a good example of like to show people, but shit goes down. Yeah, the fools that are over there, they might be a little bit careless because let's be real. I mean, to my opinion, I'm gonna even make a video to that. I'm gonna react to it, right? Because I mean, one of the subscribers had asked me a while back, but now I have a better reaction, right? So I'm gonna do the other reaction, pero they oh boy, right, when he was talking on the thing, carnal, I was like, man, pinches vatos, like if people that are out here, they do see the fools that are in the SMY or whatever, right, careless, carnal, les vale madre, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He's talking about his case. Well, he's a lifer already, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
So they ain't got nothing to lose. But back then, at least, they would still like deny it, homie. They wouldn't even talk about it. to, I mean, on the main lines, they're still not doing it because, I mean, they're going to get in trouble, especially if they come on social media. But
Yeah,
este way, he's all out there in the open, and he didn't even care about his co-defendant, bro. I
yeah.
don't know.
He wanted to do it like a disclaimer for his co-defendant, talking about he don't got nothing to do with it. Like
But it
I'm talking
backfired.
about it, my. But I mean, I'm like you doing the like the action that took place was done between two guys. The test run they did was but between them. Yeah, he was the one that run up to the do sell. He's the one that told the Huda, hey, you double cuff my shit. Like you can see in the video when the Huda fixing his ankle. Like
Yeah,
that's all out there, and that's paperwork that been proven by the documents that the sergeant that killed himself presented to the DA saying, yeah, I interviewed these dudes on camera and I interviewed these fools off camera. So
yeah,
I had conversation with them on both sides, and people tend to talk more when they see they have the audience, and that's what he did. But you
yeah,
know what? I can say something like this, bro. And I'm gonna tell you like this. I believe, and I was really raised on you shouldn't. If a person is not a piece of shit, and what I mean by a piece of shit, a child molester, a trauma, people in time, or anybody that got those type of fucking funny charges, right?
yeah,
If you're not a piece of shit, but let's say you got something coming in the main line, and you got politically smut up.
yeah,
That I'm gonna use that term, politically smut up. Somebody pencil whoop you, and you gotta get hit off the yard. I believe that the man should deserve a straight head up. There should be no snaking coming from behind him and hitting him. There should be straight front attack. And the reason why I believe that is because at the end of the day, that's a man. And you standing on business. Whether people pencil whooping or not, the batter should never take the decision to snake somebody. And that's something that when that got done to me and they snaked me and my cellar jumped, that was my anger towards that because I'm like, bro, I'm not a basura. You try to kick me when I fell. Like
sí,
when I
man.
slipped out, bro. This little dude that was actually my little homie actually trying to kick me on the face. Like I'm just some straight basura. And that was where my anger was at. That's why circumstances happened and shit transpired where I ended up in the back being as the aggressor as well.
Sí,
But I looked at it like this. I was a lifer, so I stayed with it. And luckily for me, I said it before. From reception, I hit a straight pelican bay. And I don't say this to sound like I know better or I'm better than somebody. The reason why I say I hit straight pelican bay is because at least the cellies I had told me the way, took the time to give me the clecha that I needed, took the time to teach me the proper way to conduct yourself. At least I don't say that I've been to the bay because I'm trying to puff up my chest and have the Pelican Bay syndrome, like the homie L said. Nah, I do it because the clecha is over there. If you actually pay attention, if you actually learn, it's really good clecha. The homies really show you the camarismo. Now, all of them, bro, you have some grimy ass mother flowers too. But
yeah,
that's what I was trying to ask you between Warriors for Christ. Shout out. But see, this is what I was trying to ask. The difference between their violence and I can say this. I had homeboys that had checked in, and then I went to the back and I see them, and they're back there. They didn't stop being a man, and before they checked in, I knew how their get down was in the barrio and in the yards. I see homeboys that literally just got fed up of fighting the up battle and lost up battle hill and just say, you know what, I'm tired, I'm gonna hang the guantes, ya estuvo,
sí,
and
man.
just wanna really go do the time. I don't see nothing wrong with that, bro.
Yeah, no, was there okay? So like over there, bro, it just depends, right? Because there's a lot of people that just do their program, and they can do their program as long as you're not disrespectful. Because let's be real, though, yeah, the program doesn't really change too much. Over there,
Yeah,
the only difference is que va a haber un chingo de more gangs. You know, you got to be able to identify all these other gangs because you might think like, oh, it's just a sureño. No, well, you got to identify if he's part of this clica, that clica, because you got to remember they all created different groups. But
yeah,
as long as you're respectful, a lot of people can just program nice and cool. But don't get it wrong, man. A lot of stuff does happen still, you know. 'Cause a lot of people downplay like, oh, That's where fools are protected. Y que sepa que, oh, you got that shit twisted like a motherfucker. As you guys are seeing, fools have been catching bodies lately. Some people want to stay on level fours because those are going to be the ones that ain't going to get integrated right away. I did parole from an integrated yard, you know, so the ones that didn't have it bad were the Northerners. I'm going to be quite real.
What they call it integrate? Is that the 50-50 thing that they're calling?
Well, the 50-50 thing, that shit died out a long time ago, bro. A lot of people like to say, throw the whole little 50-50, you know, because they know that the 50-50 was just known to have pretty much dropout Northerners, you know, and
Oh,
everybody
okay.
was pretty much known to be functioning still. But if you're real about it, all those fools that were functioning with these dudes that are 50-50, también they're it's like that's that shit that they were saying with Crip Mac. Some dropouts though, yeah. But the whole 50-50, that shit died out, homie, like in 90 something. You know, there wasn't really
Mm.
more 50-50. Lo que tienen ahorita donde sí están like foods that are kind of like would be considered a 50-50 would be a 180, homie. So me entiendes? Like the 180 yards, those would kind of be considered right now like a 50-50, like what they used to be a 50-50, because everybody's a hitter, but
Yeah.
they're all defected, homie. But when it comes to like
So basically the 50-50 and the integrated, those are two different
see,
things.
well, the integrator, bro, they ended up cracking that shit off like earlier, bro. I know it really went like noticeable online, especially because they started like throwing big groups, you know, and other groups, you know, pero siempre estaban tirando de puñitos chiquitos. So like in these lower levels, the Northerners will get thrown in certain yards, right? And either they get off or se quedan. And se quedan, then I mean they're no good no more, right? Pero it wouldn't be like that for all the other groups. I mean, like shout out to the Fresno Bulldogs, they were able to kick it nice and cool. You know, it was just it was weird, homie. It's a weird
I
program.
remember when the Bulldog was with us in Cork and program with each other. I remember when I came from Santanella, got transferred to Cork and did my shoe and then got kicked out to the 180 yard right there.
Uh,
Bro, literally my neighbor was a Bulldog. So when he introduced himself, like when I got there, we were on a lockdown because the Bloods and the Crips had went at it for like, so they were like in a little 2 week lockdown. So when I got there kind of late night because they take a minute for them to do the whole little fucking R&R, right? And then I get there doing my wall and hit me up, and I was like, told him what I'm representing, and he's like, I'm a Bulldog, and I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, and then he kind of, I guess, it piqued my reaction. He goes, hey, we cool in the yard, we program with each other. So it kind of blew my mind because I know that for many years, them fools have been on site.
yeah, so you're like, what the hell?
So like three cells down, there was a homie, and the homie is down to the tier. He goes, hey, fool, make a line. I got it one time for you. So he's like being one to saying, hey, fool, what he's telling you is true. Do not get off on that fool when the door open. Like, we program with this fools, right? But
Yeah.
then, but then, whatever happened transpired. Them fools, they got off anyways after I left. But it goes to say that sometimes, like, I don't understand because I know in Salinas,
Mm.
the Bulldogs are program with SNY, and then they go to Cork and then program with Acton. So I don't really get.
No, well, it's because como the level 2 the yo hice parole, it was already integrated, bro. Ese ya estaba integrated, ¿sí me entiendes? So
Okay.
it's like they don't. They consider it supposedly like they're gonna say it's soft, homie, whatever. People that been to Avenal and all those yards, they know, man. You constantly getting off, man. And the cops they don't care. You know, that's what I mean. I like the fact that they didn't care because more than like I mean I would have been in there still. ¿Sí me entiendes? But it was cool, homie. They have a good program right there, so a lot of fools don't want to leave. They don't want to lose out on what they got going on. Once you're making money on a yard, you don't want to lose that. People don't want to.
No, that's like in the mainline too, bro. And sorry to cut you off, but that's like in the mainline también, my boy. There's have been homies que llegan a las yardas and they get situated and they get comfortable lace and they don't want to do nothing because they don't want to lose what they have. I
Hell,
experienced that with myself when I landed in a cell with one of the homies when I was in Santanella. He put me on how the prisons down south were different for the prisons up north, like when we're coming from the bay, because that's when they open up CR in Santanella, and they made it a 270 because it was a level 3, and then they opened it up and they started sending a gang of people that were stuck in the bay down to a 270 to try to push people to program, right? And so that prison was open up, a lot of jobs were open up. Unfortunately for me, I was a lifer. I couldn't have a job behind the walls.
Uh-huh.
So, but I couldn't go to school because um skip word. Skip word. I'm gonna answer your question about if it messes suit. I got you. Give me a second. But I couldn't go to school because I had my GED and I had my high school diploma. I tried to get a job as a clerk in the laundry, but the hyena working there said that since I had too much violence on my chaqueta, she wouldn't feel safe with me working back there.
Simón.
So she said, Charles, I couldn't work in the program office because I had taken off on the staff on my record.
Uh-huh.
Even though it was a melee, I got caught up in between that. So I started being a yard crew.
Yeah.
I was a yard crew.
That's like one of the best jobs, bro. At least for me, it was one of the best jobs, carnal.
It is, but in the main, I hate it. You know why? Because when you in the main line, you
They use you.
you know, ¿me entiendes?
No, I already know. Hey, you don't even have to say that. That's why I just said I said it for you, bro. That
Hey,
they use
ya,
you. I
ya
know.
sabes, like
It's an avenue. It's an
yeah,
avenue that
you
they
like a
use.
little pony, bro. You like a little cricket jumping from one building to another building,
Yeah.
and that's why I didn't like it. The moment I had a chance, I swapped with one of the homies to become a porter, right? For that reason, because it got kind of caliente, bro, and then I liked it myself not to be getting touched that much. And
Yeah.
when you a yard crew, IGI already up on your shit, and they had him my pad a couple times. I didn't like that attention. I was the type of dude I want to keep it quiet, do my thing, get my money, and then
The,
let's go.
the reason why I like the yard crew, bro, and shit, bro, people that were there with me, they know. As soon as I would go to the yard, like okay, so they would do because I had the after shot, right? The third, they had that ultimate watch. So we would fucking get the chow hall after we eat. We'll fucking go inside the building, come back out, right? The first day I tried to grab a shovel. I tried to grab a shovel because the homie was gonna knock out all the weeds like around the fence, right? So I
Simon,
grabbed a shovel away, and the black guy was like, "Chales, bro." He's like, "Hey, Rodriguez, come here." And I'm like, "What?" He's all like, "What do you do? What do you think you're doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'm gonna go help him over here." He's like, "Nah, put the shovel down." This fool passed me a little rag y una pinche spray bottle. He's like, "All you have to do is hit all the tables. That's it, and then you're done. You can go." I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like,
yeah. You know, all you had to do was pull out the like the basketball, make sure the basketball, the football balls that
"Simón,
were there, and just wipe down the table, make sure the garbage cans around the yard had new bags, and you're done.
Hey, bro, I would finish before yard would even open, right?
Yeah.
All the other homies, los que se quedaban ahí, que también trabajaban yard crew, they would get stuck. They would actually stay there. They had no choice. It's just that they didn't trust me with I guess with the
With the
weapons. Like,
shovels, yeah.
they didn't trust me with weapons, and I was pretty big. Wait, I was at that time I was already like 225, but you know what I mean,
So
just
you were
big.
like me, man, because I'm not that big height wise, but I sold up real good, like a little pit bull, bro. When I was on my fucking workout shit. Right now, because I'm coming from the hospital, I still got bony to recuperate, but I was like 180 solid muscle, bro. Like that
Una,
right hook was a danger for him.
one thing that I tripped out, bro, and maybe you can answer this question, right? I tripped out because okay, a lot of people think it like on the S and Y's and all that, right? Because they're all sloppy, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be quite honest. When we would have like a school, like when we would like, because when I would get transferred, I'll just put it like that. When I would get transferred, and maybe it's because I was landing in receptions or something, right? Pero cuando hacíamos, los mirábamos así cerquitas, I would notice, bro, because there were always more little on that side. You know, like was it like they just do burpees and don't get on hacer bars or the big
A lot of homies just like to do burpees. It's rare that you find a homie that want to do bars or water.
yeah
Uh, I don't know why, bro. Like a lot of them fools just like to run the track, and I noticed that a lot of fools don't really like to. Yeah, you got the homies that are maniacos. They just want to be monkey bars, and them fools are just stuck there. You got
Yeah,
those fucking convicts too, but most
yeah,
of the homeboys are over busting down on burpees, bro, because of that air.
yeah. But
But
they say it's all wind. I get it, right? Because like
yeah,
gotta go for like the long, like the distance. You know what I mean? So I get it on the whole wind thing. Pero cuando, I mean, the other fools. I mean, I would run too and all that. But I would notice, bro, que we would get hella big, and I would even, I would always trip out. Like, what the hell's going on over here, right?
yeah,
And I remember this last time I went to the county. What shout outs to my boy Happy, ya sabes, man, shit from the hood. There was a couple of homies from the hood, que pues, tú sabes, there's always gonna be a few que you bump heads with.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And this fool was one of them, right? Que, well, he's made music about me. I'll just put it like that. And I looked at him and I was like, wait. I was like, bro, you're hella small, G. I was like, serio? I was like, because I was like, you're gonna need an allegedly, homie. Serio. I was like, you're talking all this
yeah.
shit. But I was like, you know damn well que te va a ir mal, way. I was like, fuck. But that's something that I would trip out on, bro. I was like,
I'm answer if allow me the question to say if MS Sur MS falls under the umbrella and under the program of the Sur, but do MS homeboys call themselves Sureños? Rare, rare. It's rare the fools that does that. It's rare the homeboy that does. Some homies down south do call themselves Southsiders, but it's rare that the homeboys call themselves Sureños for multiple reasons. You know, down south they don't really everything gotta be earned. They can put the tres, they can put the sur on the and the difference us up north is our so-called enemies supposedly was in order, so we have war with them. So that sur was automatically earned if you were one of the steppers.
yeah,
But there was another question that Indica asked me, said, do those Mara fellas have to prove themselves when they get deported? Sons that I know in their land. You know what? It's a crazy, that's a very good question, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why. And it's true. They have to. You know why? One of my homeboys that was here got deported back to the motherland. The homeboy here with us, we already knew what's up. We already knew what time the homeboy was, right?
they
But
wanted
when he got there and he got busted,
hard
over
check.
there, you have to literally buy your own mattress, buy your own blanket. You have to earn your bed over there, homeboy. If you're a nobody, the homeboys don't know you. You sleeping right next to the pissers, right next to the shitters. And if the homeboys don't know you in like in an intake pod, you stuck them there before you get to the dorms where the homeboys are at. So my homeboy was there for 2 days. Nobody knew. So finally, his sister was like, "Hey, bro's locked up." You know, I was like, "Don't trip. What the where he's at?" I got the info. I reached out to one of the homeboys that was on a tier. Literally, the homeboys had to go and get the homeboy out of the pissers and shit and get him a mattress situated because he had to actually when he once his bed was given, we gave him a bed, but you gotta keep the bed. You gonna have to earn your bed. So the homeboy was like, "Hey, your homeboy spoke for you. That's all good and fine and dandy, but
Yeah, they
you
still
still
want
need to keep your bed, homeboy. You still got that they we giving it to you, but on GP because of the homeboy call, but you're gonna have to earn your bed, and then where gotta get put in, homeboy."
to.
And the Frisco have Salvadorian norteños, a bunch of them, a bunch of them. Frisco, especially the 22nd and Bryan neighborhood, is more Salvadorian and Hondurans. And 22nd and Bryan, even though they're gonna say, "Oh, you don't know," 22nd and Bryan got built, got made by Central Americans. There were not many Mexicans that made it. It was Hondurans and Salvadorans that made that neighborhood. And that's why 2B and MS were really funking so bad over here because of that hate that there were Salvadorans over there and they had this style of guerrilla warfare attacks just like we did. So them fools played chess with us. You know, they were not like the other norteños that they were playing checker, we were playing chess, so we were 4 or 5 steps ahead of them. 22nd and Bryan have always been a barrio that was smart with their thing, and they were vicious too. I'm not gonna say that they were like, and that's one thing in prison that I learned because I used to run into homies from down south and be like, the norteños are soft, bro. You can minimize your enemies, bro. They can never do that because I have run into norteños that with the business. Just like
That,
there's homies with the business, they're on thing with the business. Yeah, you're gonna find just like in every other organization, you're gonna find your winning ones, but them
yeah.
fools are with the business, bro.
Otra cosa que I was gonna say on the homie, right? Because more than likely they didn't watch the video. You guys, I'm gonna repost them on the community post. The homie did talk about a lot of stuff because, como dice, you said something earlier, que they're like, oh, well, the norteños were like known as the enemy. You know, we talked about in the video, you know, that we made a couple days ago, where in some areas, right, they don't really look at the norteños as enemies, bro. But since they have the title, you know, they still a veces they get labeled and they gotta fucking well deal with the consequences, bro. Because I mean, ya cuando vienen en el camino, well, there ain't no turning back. You know what I'm saying?
Eyes never lie. Eyes never lie. Says swag. You were saying the up north, MS don't really care. It's not that we don't really carry the 13. Is that what I was saying is that when the homeboys used to bang, at least when I used to bang, I wouldn't say MS 13. I will always just say Mala Salvatrucha. Like the 13 was something that you would tag on or something like that, but it was not something that will get on our bodies like MS 13. Some homeboys do that. I'm not saying some homeboys don't. I'm saying up north in California here in Frisco, a lot of homeboys didn't get the 13. We didn't really get the 13. We will get MS 20th Street right next to it. We'll get the click. We didn't really blast the 13 like that. That was just the way we got raised and we got taught. Like we wasn't really banging a 13. Yeah, we knew in prison and in the county we fall under the category of the sur, but in the street it's a whole ball game. That's when you guys understand prison program and the street programs, two
Wait,
different ball games.
you know, yeah,
And
because
that's why I wanted to ask you also, bro. South Beach accent, hello whack. Okay, shit. If you don't like my accent, then cover your ears, homeboy. Be country as fuck.
I
Hell
mean,
yeah, I'm country, bro. But you know, that's why I was talking to you and asking you because I know that it's in why have gangs, right?
yeah.
So now I know they also have something to do with like gays, gang something. I'm not sure, but I seen that
Pues,
in the videos.
pues sí, they got their clicas, you know. Pues look,
Are you guys like, let's
están,
say if you
están,
belong to STG group, Spencer? Let's
well,
say
they're,
if you belong to STG group, are you allowed to mingle with them or do any dealings with those type of people?
no, yeah, that's okay. So this is something that they always try to throw people like esa chaqueta, right? Because they're like, oh, these fools, because those fools are right there, chales, you know. Well, I mean, they're gonna be in their little areas or whatever if they're in certain yards because they're not on every yard. I mean, that's those are just facts. Those fools land is in the yards where they get their hormone pills or just their whatever, right? That's where they're deep. But on the yards where they are at, homie, nah, there's no mingling like that. G, you know what I mean? They get packed out. They get packed out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Money talks. Hell yeah, you right on that one, homie. 22nd and Brian. Hello, Salvador, Honduras. Homies for Excelsior too. I mean, believe me. But that's what I wanted to get ask you, bro,
Yeah.
because
Well,
uh,
I took off on a GVG, right? I actually took off on a GVG in San Quinn. I got off on one of those fools. I made a video about that shit. They the cops or administration, CDC, they protect those fools, bro. They
I
protect those.
heard
Yeah, they protect them, right? So you can actually catch a hate crime, like when you get off on one of them, right? And I ain't even gonna lie, bro. I was like, whoa, like when the fool that I got off on at least, I said, wait, well that fool, he looked manlier than me, G. You know, especially at that
shit.
time. I was a little kid, you know, but nah, they're not usually allowed, homie. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're part of an STG group, there's hella things that you have to abide. You know what I'm saying? Go by. So like if you get a new celly, G, you gotta check that P Dubs, homie. As soon as you go in that cell, you gotta see if they don't have it, that's an issue. Someone got to go. And if you're part of an STG group, you can't be the one leaving. So they gotta go. ¿Sí me entiendes?
So if the PW comes out with some funny stuff,
Oh, you get off.
you get off.
Yeah, you get off, bro. Yeah, you get off. But it's just like as soon as you go in, it's lo primero que das. You know, like man, what's up? But some like the
Just
con.
out of respect of the man that's living there, or because that's how your get down is, or it's Mando?
Well, at least with the well, I don't rock with them. You know what I'm saying? But with that group, it's a group. Let's say that was required. You know, as soon as you go in, you had to show your P dubs out of respect, right? But at the same time, to let old boy know, like, hey, I'm gonna need to see yours. You know, and
Yeah, straight up.
if they didn't display theirs, then I mean, there's something wrong. So then you get a little bit more into it, and they pretty much gotta go. So the only way they gotta go is by taking off on them. So
I
there's certain little rules, carnal. You know, when it comes to those foods, well, you can't have like, well, you just can't have no one that's weird. You know,
yeah.
just that no one that's weird.
I's never lied, said those MS get along with Maravilla. And in the streets, they're biffing, bro. In jail, it's a whole different ballgame. But in the streets, MS is like the step kid that nobody likes, bro. That nobody wants. They always want to beef with them. They always have a bunch of grudge. So they're like the redheaded kid nobody really wants, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And then I done time with them, right? And to me, I honestly thought they were green lighted, carnal.
Nah, they're not green lighted, bro.
No, well,
But at
they
least in
used
the
to.
Fed, well, in the Feds now they are, but in the states they're programmed together. That's the conflict that's transpiring right now because the California car is programming under the umbrella, but the Fed car is not programmed under the umbrella at all.
Yeah, that's
And and this is one thing. Um, this is one thing that people didn't know. You probably if you didn't know, then I'll probably let you know. There was a case that happened. There's already been displaced. They already got sentenced, so I will speak on it. Not too much of the prior details that I know, but just what has been put out there. Um, there was a case of an individual that got made that was from MS. He
no,
wasn't actually jumping into MS, but they made him because he was kicking it with the homies. Then the homeboys jumped him in. Dreamer, Chichi. This individual was tasked with a job to go all over the East Coast in those areas, mid country, and trying to get MS clicks to come under the umbrella. In the midst of him doing that, they got caught up with different cases and different things. And because two of those phones that he had with his people, two of the people that were with him were tapped. So they caught on to that. They got busted over there in New York, dude flipped or whatnot. And then the other dude got put in disregard, got put on green line. And I talked about him before, little one from Hollywood. And there was a lot of conflict behind that because they were trying to bring in the East Coast to fall under the umbrella, and that was something else Mula was doing as well. Swag Jr. Any stories on Northerners they got deported to El Salvador when the line they got robbed or pressed?
I highlighted that because I was like, if there is, I wonder how it goes for them. I'm curious too on that one, bro.
Bro, look, this is from my experience because I got cousins here. They got sent back to the motherland. My cousins were actually norteños. Um, they got their stuff pushed on, bro. Believe that. As soon as they got landed there, because when the 415 program got implemented, in El Salvador we had the Ramfla Nacional, then we had the 213 program that had belonged with the car. In El Salvador we had cars, bro. They had representatives. We had the Ramfla Nacional that represented El Salvador as a whole. Then they had in prison, then they had the 213 card that represented people getting deported they belonging to LA cliques, because you gotta remember, if you belong to any LA clique and you got deported over there, and that clique you belong and had a clique in El Salvador, you were mandatory to report to that clique ASAP. If not, then you would get pressed on afterwards because you didn't report to that clique. If they find out you were out there and you didn't report. So this is the thing. when they start Latin norteños start landing, then they start giving calls over here because we have two cliques over there in the Salvador. Cangrejeras that was made by homeboys from 20th Street, and San Miguel Locotes that was La Segunda 20th Street over there basically. So when they used to call us and tell us what's up, what's going on with this dude that had a 14 on it, then we would let them know. Then the homeboys like, okay, so they're considered enemies of homeboys. So we're gonna press it. So they get pressed, bro. And
Right.
it depends if whatever you land on. If you land on 18 neighborhood, they fools press you, but they wouldn't embrace you, but they wouldn't push their shit that much unless there was a LA clique that was there. Then there would be an issue. But if it's a Salvadorian neighborhood, no. But if it was a MS neighborhood, whether it was a Fernale or a Salvadorian clique, you would get your shit pressed, bro.
Yeah, because like in Mexico, that's just different, bro. And Mexico is
Yeah,
different. I mean, people can say what they want. You know, there's certain areas, of course, because they're the dominance que va a haber sureños, and they probably are gonna try to trip. But I mean, I go to the border. I go to Mexicali. I go to like to those little spots right there. You know, and I mean the sureños don't trip. You know, that's one thing they don't trip. Another thing is that there is no northerners over there, right? Because they've been,
no,
you know, and they're cool, homie. Everybody's just trying to survive. You know, everybody's just trying to survive. That's the main thing. And well, you already know when it comes to Mex, there's a certain group that they run it. It's not the gangs, homie. You know, it's
yeah.
not the gang.
Now, the other question is, does MS and 18 go out of here as well? And in the streets, bro, they're beef with everybody in the streets. But when they start releasing the people from the shoe, a lot of people, a lot of those dudes make calls down to the streets. Like, I'll give you an example, San Diego. The people, the carnales from San Diego, put a stop to anything that had to do with warring in San Diego. So they didn't want their neighborhoods warring against each other, homie beefing against homies. So they put a stop to it. So in San Diego, they can't beef anymore. There can be no war over there because the senores decided to stop that because it was affecting the money. They try to implement that same technique in West LA, but to my knowledge, it didn't work because people were still killing each other. I mean, there's homeboys killing homeboys nowadays.
Yeah. Now, I was reading some of the comments ahorita, brother. I was in a tell Mike's World, right? Mike's World. You gotta. Hey, I'm pretty sure that shit would happen over here. Okay, if they would be snatching people up, carnal, I'm pretty sure. Well, don't get me wrong. There'll be a couple of loquillos que they'll go out there blasting because there's a lot of cuetes over here, right? But when it's the military coming deep and then just pretty much snatching people up like that, well, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to remember it's fucked up. There's a lot of innocent people that got snatched up, and the reason
That
why I say innocent, bro, is because not everyone was in the mix. I don't picture someone that was getting their tattoos burnt off still part of that mix because I guarantee you, right now as we speak, any of them that got their tattoos removed, burned, or anything like that, me and the homie actually talked about it on the video. They're
yeah,
dealing with some stuff over there right now, bro. They're
yeah,
nice. If I was pushing that stuff and then I see someone come in here and I'm like, look, you went as far
traitors.
as to burn it? Oh, you're disrespectful. You're disrespecting. You're
Yeah,
crossing out the hood. That's how they
yeah.
see it, you
And
know.
then
But
then Mike Ward said the MS-18 are running a skirt from the Mega Priso on top of they're scared as fuck behind on the house. It's not that they're scared, homie. See, I'm gonna tell you something. You guys might look at it that way, but over there, here, California prisons and people in here in these states in this area, we have a little better than the people in El Salvador that will how they have it, bro. Imagine trying to sleep on a concrete slab, in a metal slab with no blankets on and just a pair of boxers and a shirt, and you had to live with 15, 16 people that live on a dorm. When you take a shit, when you take a shower, everybody's looking. That's not living, bro. That's torturous. If you call that a scare, my boy, give it a try to see how long we last in El Salvador. There's a lot of people that suffer, bro, that don't have nothing to do with gangs. I understand that a lot of people are gonna be like, well, what about the innocent people that they guys were killing? I'm not saying that I agree with that, and that's why I meant when I say I lose respect for the movement, because that little fucking thing that when they were jumping homitos in, or like if you were living in an area, you had it to jump. That the implemented the rule was like, if you live in this area, you gotta become from the hood, or we're gonna clip you. Those rules didn't exist when I became a gang member. When I was game banging, all those new rules got implemented around 2016, 17. Just when the peace between MS and 18 got turned around those times, that's when new rules got implemented. A lot of homeboys like myself at that time didn't agree with
Yeah.
taxing people that live in the same neighborhood as you, or taxing people that sells tortillas in the next neighborhood as you. Back then, bro, a message stood for this. If you were having a business in the area, they will take care of you. They will support you. They will make sure you never get robbed, nothing happens. Everything will be straight. They wouldn't force your kids to get jumped. They will make sure they go to school. If you had elderly person that will go out, they will make sure that person was cool. There was a difference between when I was game bang and this new game banger generation.
And that's one thing, bro. 'Cause I always liked about it, like how you're doing it, bro. And that's why I was like, you know what, bro, we gotta make a couple videos, right? Because you're not biased, homie. You know, especially even when it comes to your group, there's people, man. When you throw certain shade at them, like, hey, you don't want to talk about that shit. Like you're like, fuck. But yeah, you say it straight up, homie. You know what I mean? You say
Yeah,
like, hey, there's basura. I'll remind you, there's garbage everywhere, man. And I don't really want to continue talking about all that, but I mean, you guys can look through the videos that we did post. I mean, and it's in there, bro. We point out some of the people that are still active till this day, running in there, and they kind of done some of those same things, carnal. But it's always favoritism, homie. And when you pick a certain group to hate on, and especially when this group has been hated on for quite some time, G, you know, and let's just be real, man. All those things that they've been pointing out, if they would have been consistent with other groups, they would have been able to point all those shit out as well, carnal. Um,
yeah. And that's the thing. That's why I was asking you, bro. Like, cause I wanted to learn, not because I'm curious. I want to put you on spot, but I wanted to learn,
no, so
like, what goes on those where the grass is greener. What people say,
well,
but
that
I
shit's
seen
not
that.
green. Look, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
straight.
that's what people say. That's what I say. That's what people say. But I think the struggle is a little bit more real than that way, because, like you said, there's no rule.
Yeah,
there's no order.
yeah. Well, see, look, if you're part of the an STG group, right? If you're part of one of those STG groups, you kind of get a little bit of, well, protection, right? I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of people join those groups for the same reasons, carnal. They like to go that route because they're gonna feel safe for one. Once they tell whoever's their Sallies or whoever rides around them, like, hey, he's a member. If that group happens to be deep, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna want to mess with you, bro. Or if they happen to know that, hey, that group's with the business. If you do something, hey, well, there's gonna be consequences regardless, either the deep or not. Hey, well, they ain't gonna want it, carnal. ¿Sí me entiendes? So
Yeah,
it gives them that little protection thing. But like I said,
S1.
grass is not greener over there. You gotta remember,
Yeah,
there's no rules. You can get off on whoever you want.
and I think that could be I think that could be something. I don't want to use the word scary, but I think that could also be like a wild hook there. Like, imagine you coming out to go to school and somebody's having a bad day and they just take off on you and slice you up,
No, well,
and
yeah,
you don't know shit about it.
and that's what's messed up over there, bro. But it's so like you always gotta be trucha. You know, with time you get used to the program, you get used to whoever's there, but you always gotta realize, man, that there is no rules. You know what I'm saying? So at times, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like to be told what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm that type of person, bro. That I don't like to be told
Yeah,
what to do, and I don't mind fighting. I mean, I don't mind fighting. There's a lot of fights over there, so if you're willing to fight and get down, and
I'm
maybe
wrong
here
with it.
here and there pick up a thing, because let's be real, if someone's coming at you with unos de eso, you kind of like you gotta defend yourself somehow with some type of allegedly, right? So it's like if you're willing to go that route, I mean, you'll be all right. But at the same time, you just gotta always be trucha. the on the on what I kind of seen that on the other thing, there was people that were able to program, bro. Because there's even there. I don't know if you've seen that little. There's a CO. It's an old ass documentary, right, where the CO is saying that there's fools that want to go back at times, because it's the wild wild west over there, carnal. And over there, at least they know that more than likely the one that's gonna get off on you is gonna be your own group.
Yeah, that I think that's something that there's something uncertain to live by. I think that's a real fucked up way to live, like uncertainty every day, waking up not knowing what can transpire, or if it's gonna go up, or if the group is gonna go turn against you. If you don't know if you did something wrong, somebody plans to whoop you, and 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 that's why I saw how politics was, bro. I didn't get involved into politics because I wanted to. I kind of got pulled really into by
Yeah,
doing a favor. But then as soon as I saw how stressful jobs like having positions can be, I said it to myself after once or twice, bro. Like never again. Fuck this. I
yeah,
don't have the time nor the patience to be dealing with petty stuff. And one thing I hate, bro, I hate people that use defensive mechanism with names or favoritism, bro. I can't stand somebody that does that. And that was me. I spoke up. I was spoken. If I said something that I didn't like, I will
yeah,
bring it up. And that's why a lot of people sometimes doesn't like, and a lot of people didn't like me because of that. Because the way I am, the way you see me in the street is the way I was in prison. I didn't change. I didn't become a faceta to
yeah,
become somebody else, bro, because I felt like I was faking the funk. If I talk a certain way, if I dress a certain way, if I walk a certain way in the streets, I did the same thing in prison, bro. And the reason why was because I told myself if I'm gonna die somehow, I'm gonna die being me. Because at the end of the day, my mother always told me, she never told me go become a gang member or nothing, but she always told me whatever career you choose to have, what
yeah.
is it, doctor, basketball, football player, soccer player, whatever, just be the best at it. Just
Straight up.
be the best you can be. So when I decided to become a gang member, my whole mentality was like, I'm gonna be the best at it, the best way I can be, the best version of me. We don't realize we hurt people around us when we try to become that. But now hearing it from you that over there the grass is not green is wild, it
Yeah.
kind of gives me a certain uncertainty that I kind of got saved by the bail by getting pulled back to the county because me, I know it was two choices was gonna happen. If I went back to the yard, I was gonna end up catching a life case, or they weren't gonna end up flatlining me. One of
Yeah.
them two. If they didn't flatline me and I got close to it, partly I was gonna wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm done. And you
Yeah.
know why I say that? Is because I seen homies get done dirty, bro, and I know that they're gangsters with it. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell two war stories that are coming up in the next day or so. Of the homie from Smiley from Juveniles that I knew, and then when he got hit, they got him off the yard, and then that fool was a gangster. He checked in. I was in the back with him when he checked in. I was in the yard when they hit him, and then I got to the back like a week later for something that transpired. But I didn't see him less than a man because I knew him. But here's the crazy part. The homie that was in the cell with him went as far as to get at his hyena and trying to pull his hyena by smutting him with lies and
Especially,
telling his
brother.
hyena stuff like that. So that goes to show that sometimes the loyalty they preach is not what it is, homeboy.
I was like, el Spencer carnal, manojo, whatever. You're not blocked, Jaxie. You're coming right here, brother. You're not blocked, but si quieres ver uno de esos güeyes, well, I mean, we were talking about it on D&D earlier, bro. You're either gonna have to hit the Brave Bull and Modesto. You know, you're gonna have to hit certain areas, bro. I mean, hit up Pocho or hit up fucking man. Man, you just messing it up right now, bro. I apologize, carnal. I just had to answer that fool because he thought I blocked him, G. You know, but Spencer, carnal, I apologize for cutting you off, my boy.
No, no, it's good. Uh, it's so war in here. This listo. Nah, man. Then we don't want no war. We want peace, homie. We
Nah,
don't
nah,
want no war.
it went cracking, bro. But nah, but see, look, this is just gonna give you guys a taste of what's coming, bro. The homie, like he was saying, man, he's gonna be dropping some fire ass videos, bro, on things that you guys wanna know about. G, it gets cutthroat, like I said, on the other side. It's no grass is greener, homie. You know, it may sound good, right? Because you're not listening to somebody. You're keeping all your funds. That's if you, I mean, if you can, if you don't get victimized. You gotta remember, there's people over there that are bullies too, carnal.
Yeah.
So I mean,
But
there's always downfalls, homie, to everything, right?
here,
But
Spencer, I propose a question to you, and you tell me
I mean,
how can somebody be called a piece of shit, or how can you ding a man and trying to degrade him to a basura? Let's say you have an issue with an individual. The individual decide to make it a bigger issue. You get hit once, you go back to the yard.
mm,
You get hit a second time, you say fuck it. You go back right back to the yard. A third time happen, bro.
you're gonna keep going until they kill you.
So how does that make me less than a man if I choose to say, you know what, just do? I'm not gonna keep getting these fuckers this satisfaction to keep putting holes all over my body, and one of them might get lucky and say and just dome me, and then my family is crying just because I couldn't see they didn't want me there.
Yeah.
It just I wasn't wanted in their place. So if somebody doesn't like you and they don't invite you to the house, are you gonna keep going to the house? They keep spitting in your face, or you gonna just say, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna just
Nah, well,
step them.
pues, I mean, there's a few. You know, pues, nah, no one does, bro. I mean, let's be real. I had a homie. Shout out to my boy Apache, right? I had the homie Apache. That fool's been whacked a couple of times, and he kept going back, bro. But it hits a point where you already know because it's a rap, G. You know, it's like it's a rap, homie, and you kind of start getting a little bit more hate because you feel the betrayed that your own people did you dirty like that. See, at the end, it's like, damn, homie, they really went that low, or they really thought that I was like that I'm worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then it gets you angry at the same time, bro, because you start thinking like, damn, I'm that discardable to you guys. I'm that low of a basura. After everything I've done, after all I went through, after everything that I had done for you guys, after everything that I've done in my career, like, is that how low shit can be? Like, I hear people, and this is one thing that happens. I don't know if it happens on the SNY or with the STG groups. I seen this and I heard this. I had a Selly when I landed in Folsom. He only has 4 months to the house.
Uh-huh.
Right when I landed there, he instantly told me like, "Hey, I only got 4 months to the house. I understand you're a lifer, but can you try to please help me go home?" Like, he knew I was a lifer, so he knew the consequence, and he
They-
had been programming in a yard for about a year and a half already, right? So I was like, I'm not gonna fuck up for him. Like, I'm gonna try to make sure he goes home.
yeah.
Then
Nah.
next thing you know, one of his homeboys volunteered him for a fucking holiday, bro, knowing that he was 4 months to the pad. And the reason why his
Yeah.
homeboy did was because his homeboy didn't like him. His own homeboys from his barrio didn't like him
Uh,
and was mad at him just because he used to draw. So just because he didn't want to give him one of the paños he was doing, and he had already promised that paño to somebody else. And when the dude, his homeboy, saw it, he wanted it because it was a representative of their city they were from.
yeah.
But I seen this homito get caught in a predicament, right?
Yeah.
I told him straight up, bro, you don't have to go. You got 4 months to the path. There's a bunch of, I can find you at least 4 lifers in this building, bro. Or I can at least find you a bunch of people that got more time than you that can handle that. He's like, but that's my homeboy. You don't have to bow down to this man, bro.
Said straight
And,
up.
and, and I don't think that's fair for these. That's why I preach what I preach. And when I say I'm trying to help the youth, is because I believe I can get through the youth. I don't know if a man that's 40 years old is gonna willing to sit down and listen to what I gotta say, but I think the youngsters might decide to listen to what I have to say. And that's why I say I like helping the youth. You can come tell me if I'm wrong or not. You can call me all type of names. Oh, I talk too much. I shouldn't be posting game. You can call me PC. You can call me all you want. That doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if I can pull up a youngster and stop him from going and suffering through those walls, that's a win for me, and that's what makes it worth it, bro.
Simon. Nah, and like you were saying earlier, bro, it's the same thing over there. It's the same thing over there, bro. It depends on
Does
the
that happen over there también?
yeah. It just depends on the yard, right? You have some good ass homies. You have your good homies that you know what I'm saying. If you tell them, when I was on the 4 yard, bro, as soon as I told them that I had 7 years, they told me straight up, lie to them, G. Tell them you're a lifer. You know, if people asking shit because you would be looked at as like someone that they can hit. You know what I'm saying? Because all the other fools are mostly lifers and they got hella time. So since these fools don't got nothing to lose, man, they kind of hate on the fools that are kind of going home. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah.
So they're like, just keep it hush. But it all depends on what level you're at, bro. You know what I'm saying? But there is always gonna be a hater, carnal. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I was just like, fuck it, wait, let's just max it out, and you don't have to deal with none of that shit. As long as you don't catch a whole new case, a body, you'll be fine, G.
I think it's sad that it had come down to us as humans and as people judging the next man for something that they don't know nothing about, because sometimes you have to go through the fire to know how that shit burns, bro. And
Simon.
I mean that to say that if you wanna sit there and criticize me and judge me and call me all type of names or call Conejo type of names, at least know the experience or go through the fire and tell me how it feels.
Despensa, Mike te puso ese mensaje que another add-on to that message. I'm
If
not
I
sure.
was self preservation, yeah, everybody. But self preservation doesn't mean that the people that have got locked up, bro, they're.
See,
I have some family members that got snatched up and they're Christian, and they got snatched up because when they were young, they used to hang out with the homeboys. And that was 10, 15 years ago. And now they're Christian, they have a family, they haven't touched a police station in 15 years. And then they got snatched up, bro. And it took them, luckily for us, we had the means to get him a good lawyer. They got him out in 6 months, but it actually took us 2 months for us to find out where he was at least house out. Imagine that. Imagine the people that doesn't have the feria. Imagine how they cannot afford for the loved ones to be known and they don't have nothing to do with it, bro.
oh, it's these vatos, eh. You guys are crazy. Yeah, nah, bro. It started getting crazy on the comments. No sé si estás mirando.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw a lot of people going crazy talking about
yeah,
you telling them to
yeah. We
post
we ended
links and paperwork.
we ended up hitting the hour mark, bro. Were you gonna continue going live, ahorita? Because there's a lot of people that are asking good questions, man. Subscribe to the homie, man. If you guys haven't yet, it's the homie swag. Hey, one of the homies, can you guys please drop the homie's link? Were you planning to go live, carnal?
I,
Like,
I I
like,
went live yesterday. I wasn't planning on going live today because I was trying to do like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But
oh, okay.
if anybody got any questions or they want me to keep going live, they can come on to the channel. I jump on the live real quick, and you can come and kick it over there, bro.
If you guys want the homie to go live right now, and I used to do this to Lisa all the time, so I hope fucking Lisa don't drop a comment like me. He's doing it to the homie. Hey, I'm not trying to pump up the homie to break his schedule, right? But hey, I seen a lot of people in here dropping good ass comments. I see a lot of people set tripping, right? And especially my phone. I got a couple messages I'm gonna see. Hopefully people didn't get blocked because if they are subscribed to the channel, bro, I don't want them getting blocked, carnal. But I do ask
Yeah,
people to be respectful and just I mean keep it G, bro. Be
thank
accurate.
you, S1. S1 dropped the link right there. S1 dropped the link for me. Thank you for dropping the link, S1.
Gracias, brother. You know what I'm saying?
For
And start it up si quieres, my boy. You know, if you want to start it up so that way I'll exit as soon as you have it up and going so that people can
Yeah,
jump on.
yeah, that's for sure. I'm gonna go start. I'm gonna go set it up, bro. Thank you for having me. You know you're more than welcome over there, bro. Come kick it. Let's keep the conversation going, my boy.
Simon, I appreciate you being on here, bro. For the people that don't know who the homie is, it's the homie Swag, man. I do have some videos that I already did with the homie. I will be posting them on the community post. Ya saben, make sure to tune in with the homie, subscribe, hit the like, drop comments, but just keep it respectful at the same time, man. You know what I mean?
Yes,
That's all.
sir. Thank you,
But
my
hey,
boy. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be going live right now. Come kick it with me. Ask me any question I got. If I can answer, I would do that gladly. And gracias for having me, my boy, for taking the time to include me on it. I appreciate it. We had a good conversation. You already know, bro. I said mine, and you're more than welcome to come kick it with us, bro.
Simon, brother, appreciate you jumping on. And I'm gonna have you on again, bro. If you're gonna
For
go
sure.
on tomorrow, I'll probably jump on your thing tomorrow, my boy, and
Yes,
shit,
sir.
we'll continue having this going. Right now,
Yes,
I
sir.
have a different program, carnal, but I'll let you know. I'll be on.
Friday is a good day to go live, so let's do it. I usually go live, so let's go live tomorrow. You already know you come more than welcome, bro. I
Simon.
told the subscribers they were like, don't miss a Friday. We're gonna come kick with you, so I'm gonna try to make that a goal not to miss a Friday for my people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you guys already know, like I always say, my channel is you guys' channel. You guys built it. I'm here because of you guys. And like I always tell you guys, man, be kind to one another, love one each other, and be good to your family. I mean, love them. Let them know that you love them. Let them know what they mean to you. Don't ever let a day pass go by without you telling them that you love them, man. Because we never know what tomorrow holds.
All right, brother. Well, hey,
Gracias.
your link up. Ahorita, I'm gonna make sure to tell the gente to go over there. Gracias once again of being on here. We got the homie Fume Spencer, bro. The homie said he was feeling alienated. Well, make sure to go jump in the homie Swags live, bro. You know what I mean?
Come
Make
on,
sure to
Fume.
jump
I'm
on.
gonna go start it up, bro.
I started off my boy, and someone please let me know as soon as you guys see that the homie already started, and yeah, man, and then we'll exit. I do apologize to the people in the comments. I know I did put it on the title. They're reunited, bro. Hey, they got reunited. I mean, I was actually kind of shocked. Like I said, I mean, I don't really tune in to them, right? But I was actually shocked that L ended up doing a reaction on it, and I was like, oh shit, these fools got back together, right? But there's all kinds of lies to that little story, and I probably will get into that tomorrow, gente. You know what I'm saying? On this one, it was a little bit different, man. I wanted, my guest to actually be able to speak, and I knew there was a lot of people that had questions for him. So when I do have people on the platform, it's gonna be a little bit different. So I hope you guys don't mind, right? I thank every single one of you guys that tuned in today, especially the ones that hit the like on the top corner right there, man. Gracias. And if you guys do like these little things that we do, bro. I don't call them interviews, nothing like that, bro. I call it kicking back, homie. You know what I'm saying? Kicking it with some J's. So if you guys like the collab and all that, we'll continue to have it. And you guys already be knowing, man. Make sure to tune in with the homie. Make sure to subscribe right here, as well as Conejo's profiles. Yeah, saben, man. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. There was a couple of clips that you guys wanted to see. I know Mike had requested a clip. I know, Mike. I got you, my boy. This is that one classic. G.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woohoo! What fuck squirt gun?
Alas,
Whoop whoop
alas,
whoop
alas,
whoop
alas,
whoop
alas,
whoop
alas.
whoop
Pinche vato. Nah, yeah, but apparently I missed the live. Alex, apparently you did miss the live. Where were you, homie? I did have the homie Swag on. It was a little bit different. I noticed that there was a lot of people. The comments were lit, homie. I'm just gonna say the comments had me lit the whole time. It was kind of hard to pay like close attention to the homie, so that's why at times I would kind of tune off the comments. But like I said, man, it was something different, but at the same time, I didn't want to be on the comments trying to talk smack and all that while the homie, was spinning some game, G. I know you guys were asking yesterday, and I ended up alienating him, G. So, yeah, man, make sure to tune in with the homie as well. I just wanted to remind you that you lost two stories. Damn, I see you, Vato. Yeah, we'll wait for the run backs, G. He said you can't miss the live. He said, "Damn." See, but at least I see you. At least I read your comment, bro. I mean, there was be some other fools that wouldn't read shit. But you should ask old boy how he felt, homie, on those first ones, carnal. Shit, he got lucky there was gloves, homie. He said, "Who's Kenny again?" Oh, fuck. He said, "Not the Kenny Thunder, homie. Not the Kenny Thunder."
Active, dropouts, PCs, chomos, sex offenders, gunners. Sex offenders, gunners. Sex offenders, gunners. Sex offenders, gunners.
Artie Love, what's good, Jay? He says swag is life. Okay, man. Make sure to tune in with the homie Swag. You guys already been knowing, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in like always. Gracias. Thanks for the support. I highly appreciate that, man. We'll be on tomorrow. Tomorrow will be regular program. I will be jumping on the homie Swag, so we might cut it short. We'll probably do like a 40 minute, 30-minute live, and then we'll jump on with the homie, man. But we're gonna get it tomorrow. We might do a reaction, homie. We might do a reaction. People were convincing me to do one. So with that being said, man, thank you guys once again for all the support, man. And I'm gonna exit you guys right, man. It's only right.
What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Once again, new video.
Omito.